Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a classic, one that really can shift how you look at things, yourself, the world. We're diving into Hermann Hesse's Demian, The Bird Breaks the Egg. And I want to start us off with a quote. It's right at the heart of it all. The bird fights its way out of the egg. The egg is the world. Whoever wants to be born must break a world. Powerful stuff.
Oh, absolutely. That quote, it really sets the stage for what we're doing here today. Our mission, if you like, is to unpack the insights in Demian. Insights about, well, finding yourself, your own path, and really getting to grips with the light and the shadow, inside all of us. Think of it like a map, maybe, a shortcut to some really profound personal understanding. Exploring what it actually means to be born into your authentic self, find that deeper meaning.
Okay, so how does Hess set this up? Where does this journey begin? We start about 100 years back, small German town, seems perfect on the surface. And we meet our main character, Sinclair. He's 10 years old. His home life, it's all order, strict Christian family, wealthy, very proper. Sinclair himself calls it his world of light. Totally sheltered, almost too perfect, right? But you get the sense that perfection can't last.
Exactly. That's the thing. Even in this shiny world of light, young Sinclair starts sensing, well, something else. He hears these strange sounds, whispers, sort of coming from the edges of his world, the kitchen, the places where maybe things aren't quite so polished. It's not comforting. It hints at something forbidden, something darker. And right there, Hess gives us the core tension of the whole book, this duality. Light and dark, good and evil living side by side. It's absolutely fundamental to understanding Sinclair's whole path towards himself. It's like the first little crack in that egg.
Right, the cracks start appearing. So Sinclair goes off to this elite academy, new school, new faces, and he meets Franz Kromer. Kromer's different, older, maybe 3 years, rough kid, intimidating, got this sly grin, spits a lot, you know the type. And Sinclair, he just wants to fit in, wants to seem tough, maybe, not just the good little boy from the nice house.
Yeah.
Which leads him to do something.
Well,
something fateful. He tells a lie.
Yeah, a big one. He starts bragging, makes up this story about stealing apples from an orchard, and he keeps adding to it, embellishing it, loving the wide eyes on the other kids.
He gets carried away.
Totally. Until Kromer steps in, doesn't buy it for a second. He gets right up close and just asks, low voice, "Is that true?" And Sinclair, trapped, feeling that pressure, he just doubles down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, I swear. And boom, that's it. His fate is sealed by that lie. Kromer follows him home. The threats start, demands money, $20, which is just an impossible amount for a kid back then.
Oh, man. $20.
Yeah. Sinclair's terrified. He actually sneaks into his mom's room, manages to scrape together $5 maybe, gives it to Kromer. But Kromer just scoffs. "You owe me 15 more. The dread just ramps up.
That feeling, that sinking dread. If you've ever been bullied or just, felt that awful fear as a kid, that fear of being found out, you recognize this instantly. What's Hess getting at here about that childhood fear?
He captures it so incredibly well, that raw, amplified fear kids feel. Every threat feels like the end of the world, right? It's not just the money, it's the shame, the absolute terror of his parents finding out, of that perfect world of light being shattered by what he did. Sinclair's days just become a nightmare. He's literally sick with fear. Kromer's got this hold over him, pulling him down into this darkness. It's a really powerful look at how one mistake, one moment of weakness can feel like it dismantles everything for a child, makes them face real darkness, maybe for the first time.
Into this nightmare, though, steps a new figure, Demian. Tell us about him. He sounds different, not just another school kid. Tall, charismatic, almost seems like he's from another world, excels at stuff, but quietly confident, kind. And he has this mysterious, wealthy mother, Eva. How does Demian start to, change things for Sinclair?
Demian he's special. And he sees something in Sinclair right away. Their first real connection is kind of amazing. It's in class, during a Bible lesson. They're talking about Cain and Abel. Standard stuff. Cain's the bad guy. But Demian leans over to Sinclair and whispers something completely radical. He says, basically, what if Cain wasn't the villain? What if he was just stronger? Too extraordinary for people to handle. Maybe that mark wasn't a curse. Maybe it was a sign of his strength.
Whoa. Okay, that would blow your mind as a kid, right? Especially coming from that strict background, it challenges everything. So this isn't just talk. How does this moment of awakening, this radical idea, actually help Sinclair with the Kromer situation?
It's a total paradigm shift for Sinclair. Like you said, it flips his world upside down. It's dangerous, but also thrilling, a little scary. And that's often how real awakening starts, doesn't it? One idea hits you, cracks open everything you assumed was true, makes you question. And the impact is almost immediate. There's this scene, it's raining, Cromer corners Sinclair again, he wants more money. And then he says something truly awful, threatens to involve Sinclair's sister. Sinclair feels completely trapped, powerless. And then this clear voice cuts through the rain. Sinclair.
It's Demian.
It's Demian. And he doesn't yell, doesn't fight, he just has this presence. Looks at Cromer, says quietly, leave him alone. And Cromer just backs off, turns around and leaves. Sinclair never hears from him again. It's like Demian's words, his certainty just broke the spell Cromer had over him.
Incredible. So Demian basically saves him.
Yeah.
But Sinclair doesn't immediately become best friends with him, right? There's some hesitation.
Yeah, and that's really interesting psychologically. Demian isn't just a rescuer. He's like the mentor who sees you. Sees past the surface fear and shame. He pushes Sinclair to question, to grow, shows him there's a bigger world out there, or maybe the questions matter more than easy answers, like that teacher, who saw something in you. But Sinclair hesitates. Why? Well, shame, partly. Demian knows his secret, his lie. And those ideas about Cain, they're still too radical, too unsettling for Sinclair's worldview at this point. It shows how even when help arrives, even when truth is offered, our own fear and conditioning can make us resist it at first. It's part of that difficult path to finding yourself.
Right. So time moves on. Demian eventually moves away. Sinclair goes to another school, faces the usual teenage stuff, struggles, and then he experiences his first love, or, well, crush. This girl he can't really approach, so he calls her Beatrice in his mind.
Yeah.
How does this fit into his journey, especially with Demian gone?
This crush becomes really significant. It inspires him, gets him drawing, trying to capture this ideal he sees in Beatrice. He's pouring his feelings out. And then something strange happens. He's sketching, trying to draw Beatrice, but the face that appears on the paper, it's not hers. It's Demian's face.
Wow.
Yeah. It's this huge moment of realization for Sinclair. Demian isn't just physically gone. His influence is inside him now, like an internal guide. This love that transforms. It's not just about romance. It's about how an ideal, something you aspire to, can push you, change you from within. Sinclair actually sends this drawing to Demian, and the reply he gets back contains that quote we started with about the bird breaking the egg. And it introduces something totally new.
Okay, this is where it gets even deeper, right? Damian's letter talks about the egg, the world, breaking free, and then mentions a name, Abraxas. The bird flies to God. The god's name is Abraxas. Who or what is Abraxas? This sounds pretty revolutionary for Sinclair's background.
It is. It completely shakes Sinclair. Abraxas, in this context, represents a deity that combines both good and evil, light and dark. It's a challenge to that neat separation Sinclair grew up with. The insight here, for Sinclair and for us, is profound. Real wholeness, real self-understanding isn't about choosing light over dark or good over evil. It's about integration. It's acknowledging that our shadows, the parts we don't like or are afraid of, they hold energy too, potential, power even. For Sinclair, this is like a philosophical earthquake. It forces him to grapple with the idea that life, maybe even the divine, isn't just one thing. It contains multitudes, opposites. And embracing that complexity, accepting all of himself, that's the key to breaking free, to finding real meaning, maybe even enlightenment.
So this is a much bigger breaking of the egg. Not just external bullies, but internal divisions. He keeps learning about this, meets a teacher named Pistorius, who talks more about Abraxas, and he eventually meets Demian's mother, Eva, who becomes this sort of embodiment of that integrated wisdom for him. But then the world itself breaks. World War I starts. How does this huge external chaos play into his inner journey?
Yeah, the war is the ultimate external pressure cooker. Hess doesn't portray it as glorious at all. It's dehumanizing, chaotic, senseless. And for Sinclair, it becomes this giant mirror reflecting his own internal battle. Good, evil, life, death, it's all happening on this massive, terrifying scale around him. It's the physical world catching up to his inner turmoil. There's this incredibly poetic moment when he gets wounded, hit by shrapnel. He describes seeing stars, like, one star roared toward me, bursting into 1,000 sparks, lifting me up and then dropping me.
Oh, it feels like more than just getting hurt. It's like the final, violent shattering of any remaining illusions. It breaks him open, makes him ready for that final stage of birth. And it's in the aftermath, in a field hospital, that he has his last encounter with Demian.
Both wounded.
Exactly. Lying there side by side. It's incredibly poignant. And Demian gives him his final message. He says something like, Sinclair, listen, you might need me again, not for Cromer, something bigger. But when that happens, I won't come on a horse or a train. You'll have to listen inside yourself.
Oh, wow. Listen to yourself.
Right. Then Demian gives him this gentle kiss, passes on a message from Eva, his mother, who Sinclair saw as this transcendent figure. And the next morning, Demian's gone. Just another soldier in the bed next to him. That's the ultimate lesson, isn't it? The external mentor, the physical guide, eventually has to fade away. Because the real work, the real guidance, is now internal. Sinclair has finally integrated Demian. He's been born into himself. The search for meaning shifts entirely inward. And the book ends perfectly, confirming that. He writes, "Whenever I searched for the key and sank into myself, where the images of fate slept in the dark mirror, I only had to lean over and look at my own reflection. It was him, my friend, my guide." Demian is now part of him, his own inner wisdom.
Exactly. So Demian isn't just a story about growing up. It's this timeless map of the soul's journey. Breaking free from, what society tells you, what your own fears tell you, discovering who you uniquely are. It's this powerful reminder that true wisdom, that deep sense of meaning, it's often cultivated by embracing all of ourselves, the light and the dark, until that voice inside becomes the only guide you really need.
So, thinking back to that quote, the bird fights its way out of the egg. Whoever wants to be born must break a world. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What egg, what world of assumptions or fears might you be needing to break free from right now? And what does it really mean for you to start listening to yourself on that journey to awakening, to finding your own profound meaning?
It's a lifelong quest, really. That journey towards self-knowledge, towards enlightenment, towards understanding your unique place in the world, it doesn't just stop. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Demian. We really hope some of its wisdom resonates with your own path.